Hello, this is Larry again. Hello, this is Larry again. OneManGarage. Little update on Firebird gear change. Previous video. This will just be a little bit. I may wait and get some more to add together before I post. Basically, we've had some weather blow through, some rain and tornadoes just west of here last night, and I moved everything from the garage over where the car's at over there, over to here, because I was getting flash rust on my new posi again. I'm going to just clean these 308 gears that are like, oh, what are they? I think 2001. These came out of an S10 heavy duty 8.5 rear end. There's your gear 13 and 40 is the pinion and ring count. Let's see, I don't remember if there's an actual year on here. Anyway, we're just going to wash that with gas. So recap, this is a 30 spline 8.5 differential and 8.6 gears that we're retrofitting into a 28 spline 8.5 78 Firebird 10-bolt rear end. And the bigger axle requires a special bearing set. It's also used in 9-inch Ford applications, but it is this LM 102910 and LM 102949, which has the smaller OD to fit the 28 spline differential housing, and it has the larger ID for the 30 spline differential. So what you got is basically a conversion bearing, but it's used in other differential applications, because like Ford 9-inch has like 3 different differential bearing sizes for the cases that they had. And the new axles, let me walk over here. We're going to be using a toaster oven, by the way, to heat up the ring gear, expand it so I can drop it in over that posi unit, get that torqued on here momentarily. The engine's about ready to go in the Firebird. Look forward to rolling her out, but I might wait a couple days with the motor's about ready. I got a new used bracket to replace this mangled one. You might be able to see right there. I think I'm going to pull the trans and bell housing out so the motor install can just plop on the mounts and get the Z-bar hooked up and just do it from underneath normal style. Here's the new axles. I bought new Dana 30 spline Chevelle axles. These are the used Chevelle axles that had bearing pitting problems. And the new Danas are actually beefier than these other used aftermarket ones. These actually neck down behind the 30 spline, and these really don't. The shaft is bigger all the way down, so these are going to be pretty good. Once I do the install, I have to decide if I'm going to go ahead and put axle bearings in the housing. It kind of depends on the condition of the 28 spline axles I pull out, whether or not it's worth bothering. Because basically, if you pull out axles that aren't worn, then your bearings are good. So just it'll get axle seals only. But anyway, yeah, so we had a close call on a tornado last night. Normal spring weather in Texas. We'll have an upcoming episode on Star Chief. We'll do the brake upgrade, one-time permits. But I got to get these gears cleaned up, and also need to sand this flywheel down clean. So I'll be bolting on the back of the 400 engine that's right here for the Firebird, and that's our cat. So anyway, we'll talk later. Jitterbug sander takes care of that. Lickety split. That was already a fresh turn flywheel that was barely used before the car was parked, by the way. And there is our gear and bearing toaster 3000. So we're going to heat up bearings also so that they'll drop onto that differential expansion. Why didn't I do this 20-30 years ago? I have no idea. Yes, I'm going to use gasoline in a bucket and just dunk to knock some old dirt and, just grit and quick rinse on the used gears. And Yeah, I'm not going to video that. I'm not going to hold my phone too close. Got to have a little safety first, and I put ATF on the cleaned up flex flywheel so it won't flash rust, and we'll just use the leftover gas later to rinse that off when it's time for install. Okie dokie. We might be close to temp to do the install. Been going about 25 minutes, maybe 30 at 400. This is my favorite little installer tool. It's a brass hammerhead made at my old high school, North Garland, by my friend's brother, Doyle Cavender, back in 1980. I graduated in 1987. And this socket has about the right fit as a tool, 1.5 inches. Never really use it otherwise, to help knock the bearing on. Got my safety tool here, my PPE. Gonna see how this goes. Set that there. It is squared up. Set that there. Not sure if you can see. And well, I could have heated it up more, but you can hear when you get to the bottom out that it's fully seated and it spins. Not going to touch it because it's going to burn me. I'm going to leave this one in there a little longer, crank it up a little higher. I used the house oven before, got some bearings too hot and they got dark in coloration. They still worked, but had found in the big house oven like 380 degrees is pretty good, but this toaster oven I cranked higher but we're going to wait a little bit longer before we do the other side. And I have flipped over the diff, cranked up the temp. Not sure if this is good or not. Go ahead and give that a try. Gonna grab that toasty dude and set her up there. Set this right there. Well, the bearing went on a little bit faster than the other one, kind of the same. I didn't mean for that to turn off when I set the phone to the side. It was supposed to be so you could watch, but that didn't work. Oh well. So now we're going to grab this ring gear that's been rinsed in gasoline and dried and see if it fits in the Magic Maker. Looks like it's just made for ring gear. It's a garage toaster. I don't know, we were using that in the kitchen. Not anymore. Alrighty, I think it's time to pull the ring gear. See how that goes. Get that there. What you want to do is set the phone and maybe it'll stay on this time. And then I won't touch that again. I'm going to flip this on top of that. Then we're going to grab our hot pads. Kind of hold that. See if we can. Left-hand threads, by the way. I believe we're in real good shape. I've got bolts started on both sides. So, got my impact ready. We're just gonna light torque on that. I use the universal ATF on the bolts. ATF's good for everything. Did y'all know that ATF mixed 50-50 with acetone It's actually a better rust penetrator than any of the products they sell at the store. So if you just have one of those home old-fashioned squirt cans that you can refill from the grandpa would have had, you can just make your own. I don't have that can though, so I never do. But I do know that I can, so that's important. But also, you know, you're in some kind of crap box, oil burning, leaking car and stuck and trying to get home, you can put it in your engine. Anyway, zip this down. And we'll just, well, you get the idea. We're just going to stop right there. I'm going to finish the torque, not try to hold it in video and burn myself. Not that much humor today. So I threw some more ATF on the gears and bearings just to protect it, because it may be another week before, or maybe probably longer before I do the gear setup. I want to go ahead and do the engine and trans and get it fired off. Then I'll go back and pull the rear end stuff out in the driveway here and do the gears, finish that episode and show the axle stuff and the bearings related and what it takes to do the conversion to 30 spline axles, which is very minimal, but I'll show that in detail next time. So for everyone out there, please like, subscribe, share. You know, I'll try to make this somewhat entertaining but educational, and you know, something we can relate to. Reusing parts, nothing wrong with used parts as long as they're good parts. So adios amigos.